Flipping the script, techniques for rapid memorization. In this quick tutorial, we'll talk about some memorization techniques that you can use to master the message of any scripted material. The first technique is spaced out repetition. For better memorization, especially with text-based learning, use the spaced out repetition technique. Hermann Ebbinghaus's forgetting curve is a graphic representation of how our brain forgets information over time unless it is repeated at certain intervals. It's also important that every rehearsal has a break of 1, 2, or 3 days between them. Frequent periodic practice makes it more likely for information to be memorized and stored in the long-term memory. So how can you apply this? Create a schedule using an app like Clockify. Use the schedule to set the time that you have dedicated to rehearsing your patient communication skills. After a while, you'll have an overview of how much time you are practicing and a schedule that can help you organize your learning time. Next, when in doubt, act it out. Do you know how TV and movie characters memorize pages and pages of text and make us think that they are really the characters that they play? Their strategy is to identify and assign emotions to every word and every line in their script. They make deliberate and diligent efforts to convey what is happening in that moment, and then have the ability to embody and effectively share that emotion with their audience. So understand this. Memorizing text is less about remembering what words to say and when to say them. While very important, memorization is more about embodying emotions and conveying a message to an audience in a believable way. The next technique is called chunking. The point here is to isolate the important parts of the text and to label them. First, go through each line of the text. Then, highlight, box, circle, underline the most important parts. And then label the selected boxes, preferably in some sequential order, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, etc. Using the above techniques, rehearse the script, remembering the chunks of text that you've identified. We'll take a deeper dive into this later. The last technique is called building a memory palace. This technique is also known as the journey method or the method of the loci. This technique can be used in conjunction with all of the ones that have been previously mentioned in this tutorial. The basis of this technique uses an imaginary location in your mind where you can store mnemonic images. In the Doctor's Day 2 script, let's look at the Welcome Back page. And let's imagine a house with a yard. And we'll play some items that we chunked earlier. As patients walk up the driveway, we welcome them. As they come up to the porch, we assure them that we can help. As they come to the front door, we ask them if they have any specific questions about the video. As they walk through the foyer, we address any of those questions and ask them to sit down at the table where we address the common questions inside of the ROF folder. Now that you have been introduced to what these techniques are and what they're called, let's take a deeper dive into how we actually can apply the techniques.